The neon lights of Shin Technologies glimmered as I stepped into the sleek lobby, a palpable energy igniting my determination. I had put everything I had into this presentation. The idea that could redefine our AI capabilities had consumed my thoughts for weeks. Tomorrow's the day, I whispered to myself, my heart pounding in rhythm with the ticking clock. But just when I felt my dreams unfurling, Alex, my manager, called me into his office. "Emily," he began, a hint of hesitation in his voice. "The presentation is cancelled." My breath hitched, the weight of his words crushing me. "Budget cuts?" he added, shrugging as if that excused the cut of my lifeline. I felt like I had been punched in the gut. "Are you serious?" I stammered, frustration bubbling up inside me. "I've worked tirelessly for this. It's not just a presentation, it's everything." "Look, the company is facing challenges," Alex replied, the mask of support slipping. "Just take it easy, there'll be other opportunities." But this was my opportunity. Heart racing, adrenaline coursed through me. I quickly left his office, my mind racing, and drafted an email to Ryan, the charismatic CEO whose vision inspired us all. "Dear Ryan," I typed, my fingers shaking. "I understand my presentation has been cancelled, but I would love the chance to share my concept directly with you. I believe it could significantly impact Shin's future." I hit send, and a thrill of rebellion surged through me. I wasn't going to let this slip away. Moments later, I received a reply. "Let's meet. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. A mix of exhilaration and dread flooded through me. What was I getting myself into? As I prepared for this crucial meeting, I detected shadows around me. Whispers turned into silence as colleagues eyed me with a mix of curiosity and envy. Was I creating a storm, or was something more sinister lurking beneath? Suddenly, I recalled Alex's wary glance as he announced the cancellation. What was he hiding? Just then, I spotted Ryan across the floor, radiating confidence but with a glimmer of something. Was it interest or intrigue? Before the emotional tide could pull me under, I steadied my resolve. "I can do this," I muttered, battling my doubts. But little did I know, my choice would unravel a chaotic web of competition and ambition. And as the clock ticked toward my meeting, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was stepping into a trap. Before we dive deeper into this enthralling journey, here's a quick reminder. YouTube has been removing subscriptions lately. Check if you're still subscribed and drop a like to support the channel. Now, let's uncover what tomorrow will bring. As I stood outside Ryan's sleek office door, a whirlwind of emotions coursed through me. The stark contrast of the polished wood and glass felt hauntingly surreal. It was a space where visions were born or snuffed out. I couldn't help but wonder if I was stepping into the lion's den, my heart pounding in sync with the ticking seconds. "Emily, come in," Ryan called, and his voice was laced with a charm that both thrilled and terrified me. I took a deep breath and stepped inside, the air thick with anticipation. Ryan was leaning back in his chair, exuding a laid-back confidence that somehow put me slightly at ease. "Thanks for meeting with me, Ryan," I began, gripping my notes tightly. "I know this isn't the usual protocol." Ryan smiled, his eyes gleaming with curiosity. "I'm intrigued, actually. Alex mentioned your project briefly, but I sensed he was keeping something back. I always appreciate transparency." "Right?" I nodded, my voice steady, despite the growing tension. "This idea can elevate Shin in the market. It's about creating an adaptive AI that learns from user interactions, making it more intuitive than anything we've launched." As I spoke, I found myself getting lost in the vision I had poured my soul into. I could see it taking shape, our AI, becoming a pivotal tool for individuals and businesses alike. But just as I began to feel the excitement, I caught a flicker of disinterest in Ryan's eyes. Was he truly invested, or was he merely playing his role? "Fascinating," he replied, leaning forward. "But let's talk about Alex. What do you think his real motives are in sidelining you?" My breath caught. Had I revealed too much, or was Ryan trying to gauge my loyalties? I hesitated, weighing my next words. "I suspect ... he might feel threatened. I've noticed he's been veering towards projects that mirror my ideas." Ryan's expression turned serious, and he nodded slowly. Corporate politics can be brutal, Emily. Sometimes, it's not just the ideas that get silenced. A chill ran down my spine, wrestling with the haunting realization that Alex might not simply be my manager, but a rival in disguise. So, what happens now? I ventured, sensing the game was shifting under my feet. Ryan leaned back, a thoughtful look crossing his face. You're on the verge of something big. I want to help you navigate this, but you must be cautious. You can't trust everyone even within these walls. The stakes had become crystal clear. It wasn't just about my idea anymore. It was a survival game tangled in ambition and betrayal. Are you in? He asked, his gaze piercing through me. In that moment, I felt the weight of decisions weighing heavy on my shoulders. As I prepared to answer, the door swung open, and there stood Alex, an expression etched with surprise and something more dangerous. The tension was electric, our complex web of ambitions about to unfold dramatically. What would I say to Ryan? What would Alex do? I could feel the world tilting underneath the facade of corporate camaraderie, and deep down, I knew I had to make my move. But take a moment, what would you choose, standing at the edge of ambition and deception? Before we find out what happens next, remember to subscribe for more twists and turns in this thrilling narrative. I held my breath, feeling the entire room constrict with Alex's sudden appearance. Emily, he stated, his tone laced with guarded disbelief. I didn't expect to find you here. The tension crackled like static in the air, and I could see Ryan's brows furrow slightly at the interruption. Seems like a productive meeting, Alex said, looking between us. I hope you're sharing everything about your project with Ryan. Emily Hughes' voice was a mix of condescension and irritation, like a wolf in a suit, all teeth and no friendliness. I'm just outlining some potential developments, I replied, trying to exude confidence even as my pulse raced. Ryan's interested in the specifics. Alex, there's a lot at stake here. My heart raced at the unspoken challenge hanging between us, a silent duel in the hushed office. Ryan's expression shifted, intrigue dancing in his eyes. I believe in fostering talent, Alex, and Emily's idea could be exactly what Shin needs. A glance passed between the two men, acknowledgement of the fray that lay beneath the surface. Alex's lips curled into something resembling a smile, but the menace behind it was unmistakable. Indeed. But let's remember who's in charge of projects around here, who decides what happens next. He directed his gaze towards me, then back at Ryan, as if gauging our reaction. You know, Emily, he continued, voice smooth as silk, but edged with steel. Innovation doesn't come without risk and consequences. Are you prepared for that? I clenched my fists, the weight of his words settling heavily in the air. I've prepared for this moment my entire career, Alex. I shot back, determination burning in my voice. I'm not backing down now. Ryan smiled, an approving nod that fueled my resolve. That's the spirit. This is what Shin needs, a fresh perspective, he declared, turning to Alex. But it seems you have your reservations. Are you willing to support her vision, or will this be another casualty of corporate politics? The silence screamed as I met Alex's icy gaze, a battle of wills unfurling within the confined space. My instinct told me this rivalry ran deeper than I had schemed, much deeper. I sensed a shift, a turning point, and the stakes had never been higher. Whatever the outcome, I knew I had just stepped in the ocean of corporate warfare. But here's the kicker. What if Alex's disdain stemmed from something more than just career ambition? The thought was chilling, and as the tension spiraled into an untenable silence, I couldn't help but wonder, how far was I willing to go to unveil the truth? Before we unfold the next twist in our thrilling tale, make sure you're subscribed to stay woven into the fabric of this unfolding drama. What choices will I make, and what truths will be revealed? The next chapter is just around the corner. As the door swung closed behind Alex, the atmosphere felt electric. I exchanged wary glances with Ryan, whose expression had shifted from intrigue to calculating. The air was thick with unspoken tension, and I could feel the stakes rising, like the pressure before a storm. I suppose that was a dramatic entrance, Ryan said with a bemused smile, breaking the silence that loomed like an impending thundercloud. You have a knack for stirring the pot, Emily. Let's just say I'm used to dealing with interruptions, I replied, trying to match his light-hearted tone, though my heart was drumming an anxious rhythm. But I didn't expect Alex to show up like that. It's part of the game, I suppose, Ryan said, leaning back in his chair and folding his hands behind his head. You'll find that in a place like Shin, everyone has an angle. The way he said everyone made my stomach churn. Was he including himself? I took a deep breath, steadying my nerves. I'm just trying to put my ideas out there. I believe in this project, and I want it to see the light of day. I need the support of the right people. I can see that, he said, leaning slightly forward, his gaze never leaving mine. But you might want to reconsider who those right people are before it's too late. Trust me, I've seen it happen time and again. What do you mean? I asked, genuinely curious but feeling a hint of unease creeping in. Were we simply talking about corporate politics, or was there something darker lurking beneath the surface? Let's just say that Alex has played games within these walls for longer than you've been here. He knows exactly how to leverage situations to his advantage, Ryan murmured, the intensity shifting to a conspiratorial tone. I bit my lip, grappling with this new layer of complexity. Could I truly trust Ryan? Was I another pawn in a larger strategy? So, what do I do? Ryan hesitated before answering, brows furrowing in thought. Continue to be bold. Present your ideas to the broader team when the time is right, and don't shy away from pursuing your vision. But be wary of Alex. He might not take kindly to a rival emerging. Flicker of something fear, respect, flashed across his face as he said the last part. Before I could respond, my phone buzzed in my pocket, the screen lighting up with a message from an unknown number. My pulse quickened. In this realm of corporate intrigue, unexpected messages often spelled trouble. I discreetly glanced at the screen, my heart racing. Meet me by the coffee machine in 5 minutes. I have information for you. Is everything okay? Ryan noticed my unease, his eyes narrowing in concern. I don't know, I stammered. It's a message from someone I don't recognize. They want me to meet them. Be careful, he said, the warmth in his voice replaced by warning. In a place like this, it could be anyone, an ally, or someone with an agenda. Nervously, I nodded, thanks. I rose from my chair, rummaging through my briefcase for a moment to mask my growing anxiety. I'll be quick, I assured Ryan, my voice steadier than I felt. Take care of yourself, Emily, he called as I headed for the door. The tides can turn fast here. His words echoed in my mind as I made my way through the bustling office. Every glance felt like a wean. Were my colleagues measuring my worth, or plotting against me? The vibrant atmosphere that once filled me with inspiration now felt fraught with suspicion. Approaching the coffee machine, I peered around, tension bubbling in my chest. Who could be reaching out to me? And why in such a vague manner? I scanned the surroundings, spotting Julie, a fellow project manager who had been friendly to me. Hey, Emily, she called with a smile, pouring herself a cup. What's up? You look a bit on edge. Just revisiting my plans, I replied, trying to brush it off casually. Her warm demeanor eased some of my anxiety. Before I could respond further, a shadow loomed near the coffee machine, and I turned to face a familiar, yet unexpected, figure. It was Kira, a junior developer I'd worked with once, a quiet talent who often slid under the radar. Her face was pale, and she looked like she wanted to say something urgent. I'm glad I found you, Kira said, glancing around as if ensuring no one was eavesdropping. I wasn't sure you'd come. What's going on? I asked, urgency coloring my voice. I overheard something about Alex and your project, she whispered, eyes wide and earnest. He's been meeting with a group of VPs. They're planning to push forward with something similar, something that could undermine your idea. My heart sank, rage bubbling beneath the surface. What do you mean? They can't just take my idea. I know, Kira said, her tone both sympathetic and fearful. That's why I thought you should know. I don't want him to get away with this. If you want to stop him, you have to act fast. Gravely, I nodded, the raw betrayal settling heavy in my chest. Thank you, Kira. You have no idea how much this helps. But uncertainty still lingered. What should I do now? How can I counteract Alex? Kira bit her lip, thinking hard. Bring your concept to the team. Don't wait. If you present it first, the clout behind your passion may help you deflect any claims from Alex. They trust you. This is your shot to spark excitement among higher-ups. Her words resonated within me. I had to regain the upper hand. I felt the fire within me reignite, fueled by a resolve to reclaim my vision. As I prepared to face Alex and his cohorts once more, I could sense the intrigue spiraling into something larger than I imagined. I had just stepped onto a battlefield where I was no longer just an ambitious employee. I had become a contender in a dangerous game of corporate survival. But could I truly trust Kira? What were the stakes when it came to alliances in this shadowy corporate world? Before I could delve deeper into the implications, my phone buzzed again with a message. We need to meet again soon. Things are getting complicated. The sender was unknown, but the urgency nagged at me. Was this a warning? An opportunity? One thing was clear. I was on the brink of a revelation that could shift everything once again. With the clock ticking down to the next moves in this unfolding drama, I had to brace for what lay ahead. Stay with me. The tides of ambition and betrayal are about to surge once more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to catch the unraveling plot in our final chapter. What awaits, and who will emerge unscathed from this whirlwind of corporate intrigue? My heart raced as I returned to Ryan's office, my mind churning with Kira's warning. The coffee machine buzzed with idle chit-chat, but I felt like I was moving against a current of uncertainty. I couldn't shake the feeling that this meeting could change everything. I had to present my idea first, and ensure it would stand on its own merit, away from Alex's shadow. Emily, Ryan called, his voice cutting through my preoccupations as I stepped into his office again. You look like you've seen a ghost. What happened? I need to present my idea to the entire team, I declared, my voice steady but urgent. I have intel that Alex is developing something similar, and if I don't act now, I might lose my chance entirely. Ryan's brows knitted together thoughtfully. You're confident, but going head-to-head with Alex could spark a storm. Are you ready for the fallout? I've come this far. I can't back down now. I steadied my resolve. Let's throw caution to the wind. The corners of Ryan's mouth turned up, admiration shining in his eyes. I like your spirit, Emily. Let's set it up. We'll gather everyone tomorrow morning. As I left his office, a surge of adrenaline pulsed through me. I began preparing for the presentation that, just a day ago, felt like a lost dream. I pored over every detail, making sure my points were clear and compelling, fueled by a determination to seize this moment. I envisioned a future where my idea not only thrived but transformed the very landscape of Shin Technologies. The next morning dawned with an almost surreal clarity, my pulse quickening as I walked past the array of modern desks towards the conference room. The air hummed with anticipation, and I took a deep breath, reminding myself of the stakes. As I stood before my colleagues, their faces a mix of curiosity and expectation, I felt a rush of empowerment wash over me. Thank you all for being here, I began, my voice steady. Today, I am excited to share a vision that can elevate Shin's capabilities in unprecedented ways. Each slide flipped seamlessly, my passion igniting the room. I addressed the doubts that loomed in the air, weaving my narrative with detailed insights. I could see Ryan nodding, the weight of approval radiating from him. But as I reached the climax of my presentation, I felt Alex's presence looming just outside the door. The ghost of his earlier threats flickered through my thoughts. Would this really be the battle I had prepared for? With my final slide revealing the potential impact, I looked out at the audience, catching Kira's supportive gaze. Innovation comes with a vision, a risk, but ultimately, it's about believing in the possibility of change. As I finished, applause erupted around me, a wave of relief washing over. I could see Ryan beaming, while Alex stood silent, simmering with indignation. In that moment, I knew I had seized my moment, not just for myself, but for everyone who dared to dream within those walls. I had faced my fears, exposed the undercurrents of deceit, and emerged with my vision unshaken. Afterward, I sought Ryan out, hope swelling within me. What now? Now, we make sure Alex doesn't undermine this, he stated, determination echoing in his voice. Your ideas deserve their rightful place at Shin and beyond, Emily. As I departed the conference room, a sense of triumph wrapped around me. I still had battles ahead, but the path was clear. I had ignited something powerful within me, and I was ready to confront whatever lay ahead. Before we close this chapter, if you've enjoyed this ride filled with ambition, betrayal, and triumph, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We'll continue exploring more stories that remind us of the transformative power of believing in ourselves. Thank you for being part of this journey.